Hello, Emil. Welcome to my little corner of cyberspace. Today we're going to talk about Renee Good and what happened in Minnesota, since the country is in shambles over this topic lately.
Yes.
So,
There's
introduce
I hear
yourself.
there's riots all over the place over it. I go by Emil. Um
Yup, and I am the host, Leon. We're going to be here with you today as we discuss all the topics related to just about anything. We're just gonna shoot the shit. Keep it real, keep it organic. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about how essentially we need to bring the temperature down in the culture. There's too much hate flying around. I'm tired of it. So we're doing a bit something different here. We're just gonna tackle topics with a very cold clarity. We're not gonna put our emotions too much into it, or at least if we do, we're gonna put it in the right places, right?
right.
So, yeah, let's talk about why ICE was there. Alex, take it away.
Yeah, I wanted to point out why they were there in the first place because as the as what happened is tragic. Nobody's talking about why anybody was there. And
I'm sure a lot of people are, but go on.
so Minnesota's sanctuary laws, um, they make it. They're trying to make it harder for federal agencies to do their job, and with everything that's going on right now, it may seem like these federal agencies, it may seem like they think their job is to harass people, and I need to point out that the reason they're in Minnesota is in the first place is because I actually have this on my screen right now. There was a fraud scandal that rattled Minnesota with its scale and brazenness. What is this? New York Times. Um,
Uh huh.
dozens of people with felonies, stealing hundreds of millions of dollars. And it was the
Holy shit.
Somali dis
That's my money.
Somali diaspora Somali diaspora, as scores of individuals made small fortunes by setting up companies that build state agencies for millions of dollars. And I believe, 59 have been convicted. For such a large operation, that doesn't seem like that's all of them.
Mm.
So it's trying to catch these people is likely still going on, and with the sanctuary laws in place, making ICE's job harder.
Okay.
It's obviously there's going to be a lot of tensions between the state and the federal, and
Right. So I think what we can say then, knowing all this, is that we shouldn't be treating this like it's some sort of fascistic dictatorship operation going on, where we're just going house to house rounding up regular people. Though that may happen on accident, I'm sure, right?
yeah, and there are reported cases where that has happened. Renee Good isn't even the first citizen to be murdered for what seems like no reason. She's not even the first.
Right.
So it's.
I mean, we could talk about her stupidity though, and how she got murdered though, because there is a proper way to be protesting things, and it's just not this.
I mean, what?
Is it?
So what was she? I believe she
I mean,
was there.
we've all seen
She
the
was
video.
there
We've
to
all seen the
support.
video by this point.
I believe she was there to support her neighbor, right? And I mean, not that I actually know why I like as to what ICE were doing there in that on that particular day. I have no idea. But given what's going, but given that they're trying to crack down on these things, it's I mean, I can make guesses, because there are actually
Sure.
criminals that need to be apprehended. It's not like it's not like they're just waltzing around abducting people. Like, there are actually criminals around. So I can only guess, what they were there for. And it's public perception hasn't. It seems like nobody even realizes that there are criminals that they're going after. I think in the first place, confronting people with guns that have already proven that they're not afraid to use them on a hair trigger, confronting them in the first place is a bad idea. Regardless of why.
Especially in this cultural climate of, cops versus the regular man. We already don't have a good relationship.
I think confronting people with guns is already a bad idea. Just like on a survival level.
Right, it's stupid. It's stupid, right?
I mean, not to say that we shouldn't, hold ICE accountability for their mistakes, but at the same time, you're not going to go up to somebody trying to rob a store and ask them for their gun.
See, another angle that we got to look at, despite is that people feel like people should be allowed to immigrate to this country, even if illegally anyway.
Okay.
And while I do agree in general that this country should be pro-immigrant because of what the American project is supposed to be, what I would say right now is that because the culture at the current moment is in such chaos and disarray, that it is unwise to invite guests into your home when your home is a fucking mess, to put it in the lightest way possible. And you can we can see why these ICE guys are even here in the first place. Key U.S. immigration facts and statistics in the U.S. 2025. If we scroll down here and we look at the unauthorized immigrant population, even under the Trump presidency, it has only gone up by the millions. So there are realities on the ground that are like making these things happen, and people should understand why and how that is. And I understand that a lot of immigrants are fleeing from less fortunate countries, right? People come to America for that reason, even because of a promise of a better country, but I don't think that's the right way to go about it. I think you really have to fix your problems at home. Just like how America has to fix their problems at home, so does every country in the world. And it doesn't make sense that America essentially performs this brain drain on the world, right? Where we're just taking all of the best people from every country. We're taking their artists, their engineers, their scientists, their greatest thinkers. We're just taking them all and concentrating them here. And we're robbing these other countries of like the wealth they could be building as a nation. Do you see what I'm saying, Emil?
Yeah. I mean, I do have to question. I mean, it might even lead back to you stating that you need to fix their problems at home. But I have to question the ability of those important people to do what they want to do, what they're best at in their own countries. Sometimes they can't.
Oh, I guess what? You got to find a way. Or that's all I can really say. You have to find a way, because how else does progress get forward if not being presented with an insurmountable task to begin with? Like the people who come here and immigrate here would already to have that natural drive to overcome the imbalances that are affecting their culture at large. Like they would have already had those individuals to overcome it, such that they can raise the general population as well. I mean, there's a reason America has all this concentrated wealth. It's not just because we won World War II and all that. Yeah, I mean, cultural imperialism is very, very fucking real. Like, our culture's infectious. It is probably our primary export as a country. It is where a lot of our dollars come from. We're a very popular, trend-setting nation. For better and for definitely worse. Which is why it's important for, you know, these people to understand, like, why this is all happening, right? So, here's something I want to talk about and discuss. Video appears to show hysterical, blood-covered wife of Renee Good, woman killed by ICE, crying out, "It's my fault." I'm gonna run the clip now. Like, and yeah, we're just gonna run it, and we'll talk about it.
Killed that lady in that car. It's a lady right there in that car, y'all. Y'all know who car this is? Tell them to come check on their people.
Somebody that's medically trained is pronouncing this woman dead.
This lady got blood. They don't, she was in the car with her, bro. What she tried to say. Hey, was you riding with her? Did you call any of your peoples yet? Man, I just smoked this lady right here, cuz. I just smoked.
Oh, that's basically the video, because she doesn't speak anymore. Personally, I don't hear that at all. I think this is total clickbait, but despite it being clickbait, I don't really care. I think it's a valid angle to talk about anyway, because it's very real that she would have had to have coaxed her wife into doing this stupid thing, right? And so I think it's important to identify, like, all sources of how these, because when we talk about why these things happen, we could talk about the specific whys that people are looking for, but now we can talk about more of the personal, broad whys of what's going on here in this situation. And it starts with ourselves, and for starters, this woman and what she was thinking when she decided, I need to go and put my voice out there and let my opinions be known for the cause, right? And there's countless ways you could have done so, and this is not one of them. So she has to take some blame here. There was even an article I saw some news about the Trump administration investigating that woman, even, which is interesting. And so she clearly has to have some blame taken upon herself, and to recognize that, damn, I really should not have done that. And same goes too with the driver here who got killed, Renee Nicole Good, who herself got killed in this incident. We need to talk about how she didn't even comply with ICE officers to get out of the car. I mean, if there's, at that point, you just gotta do what they say. You're interfering with like a federal operation, right? So it's just, you kind of screwed yourself there. That was unwise. And that was a moment where she clearly takes fault. And then, at long last, we'll get to how the ICE officer, too, is at fault. Because this is just horrible training to just be in front of the car. Which is, if you're gonna be operating under the assumption that you're gonna be apprehending criminals, you have to also be doubly aware that this mode of transportation can also double as a weapon very quickly in the blink of an eye. So that's got to be like something that's got to be sorted out at the academies or something, where they just got to be like, hey, let's not put ourselves in the way of danger, right? Like what a stupid position to put yourself in, such that you would even feel threatened in the first place to pull out your gun. Had he not been in that position, he would not have felt threatened, and going further, would have not had the right even to shoot. So there you go. We have a little bit of smoke to go around for everybody. And where there's smoke, there is fire. So you can always expect fire takes over here. Little bit of blame to go around, everybody, right, Emil?
I would
How we feeling about that?
I would groan at your pun, but I did so already.
Yeah, well, they don't know that, and it's still awesome. You're gonna be unabashedly me. You know how it is. So yeah, that's that. That's could also talk about how Donald Trump himself says he understands both sides of the Rene Goodeye shooting.
I
Now,
feel like
I'm not
that's
saying
I feel like that's more of a is pandering the word? He's trying to play both. I don't know. He's trying to play both sides because of how heated it is, and he doesn't want people to start, being all up in arms again. Because I mean, especially of the many things going on with the Trump presidency, but he doesn't want people to go up in arms. But he also said, despite saying that he understands both sides, he also accused the driver of many negative things. Almost entirely basis, because I think one description was, he said, viciously runs over the ICE agent or something like that, when she was clearly turning, when the steering wheel. Hold
on, Emil.
The ICE officer.
You say that, but we have confirmation that this ICE officer suffered internal bleeding after the incident.
Really?
Yeah, I got the article pulled up right here. You could check it out. Wow. Suffered internal bleeding to the torso during the incident. He was treated at a hospital after the shooting and released that day. Uh-huh. I mean, you'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised how like weak the human body can be sometimes.
I mean, he did stand in front of a car with
oh
his
right,
gun
he did. Yeah, right. No, he also stood in front of the car, which again, horrible fucking practice. Like, what a moron! What an idiot! That this entire situation could have been avoided at when I give everyone blame, it is to show you how there is a de-escalatory ramp at every stage of the operation that culminates in the tragedy. There is a decision, there is a choice, there is something somewhere where somebody in the chain of command could have just made the right decision, such that this situation should have simply never would have happened the way it did, right?
I mean, yeah. I remember, if I recall in the video, she wasn't even being verbally aggressive. And I don't even understand how it escalated. And another thing I need to point out, reports
we told you how it escalated. It's because the guy was in front of her.
Sure, witness reports are saying that there were conflicting orders, because you mentioned they were saying get out of the car, but there was also another guy saying stay in the car, don't move. So what order do you follow?
Well, and I mean, you definitely don't fucking floor it. I'll tell you what.
Right. Nowhere in the orders was press the drive.
Right, which is even in that flustered situation, the natural animal instinct to just freeze alone would have actually just preserved her life. Like if she just froze like a deer in headlights, that alone would have just saved her life. Which is kind of crazy to think about, but it's very true. She chose the flight response, though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the end result is ending up in prison. But I think that's preferable.
Better than dead.
It's definitely preferable to what happened.
Absolutely. But no, you see, look, listen, I brought up this both sides thing, and while it's very true that Donald Trump probably is pandering, but there's got to come a certain point where people don't view this idea of appealing to both sides as just like trying to get a soundbite that we're pandering, because there is a literal truth. There is a grain of truth being said on everyone's part that needs to be seen and understood and showed for in its proper light and God-given context that allows these things to make sense. Because there's very understandable reasons why the people are upset about this shooting, and there's very understandable reasons why there are other people who feel like it is very justified that we have these agents out patrolling our streets, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a delicate balance of trying to appease everyone here. And you see, if a man as evil as Donald Trump, who might as well be our modern day Hitler, if you can get a man like that to say, even if it is just pandering, just to get a man who's supposedly the devil just to say these things, that's got to be a sign of like, look, I think we need to just basically hammer on these things. We need to really like hammer these ideas into every living being's heads, such that we can actually find true healing and a way forward in the culture, and then therefore at the culture at large for the global good of humanity.
So was there
I think
anything else?
I think that just about covers it, man. Like, I pretty much expounded upon all my thoughts on the situation. I gave a little bit of blame everywhere. Showed where the de-escalation comes into play, and this really does illustrate the importance of trying to understand people, trying to really understand their pain points. And I can't wait to have discussions with people in the comments who do engage with these ideas, because we will be bringing them up quite possibly in future episodes. Your comment may be featured. You will be in the spotlight, and we will discuss your worldview perspective in the video, and we get to flesh it out and see if it really stands and holds rigor, if it holds any water. So
I just needed to point out that in almost any conflict, and I mean even especially the things we're going to be talking about, a lot of people like to focus on like what happened, aftermath. I want people to focus on the context, like the things surrounding what happened, because if you look at things in a vacuum, if you look at the situation in a vacuum, what happened was somebody trying to support their neighbors got shot by federal officers. I mean, in a vacuum, that's what happened. But on a larger scale, there's ISIS trying to crack down on Somali fraud operations, potentially in the billions, and there's some citizen getting in their way, or even from even context from the citizens' side, because multiple people have already gotten killed or arrested unjustly, and it also makes sense to be extremely nervous and antagonistic towards these people who are unjustly killing or arresting. You know, I want us to think about context of why these things happen, because if everybody's just constantly getting more angry as each new thing comes up, we're not going to solve any problems like that.
Right. And that's another point I want to hammer on before we end the episode off here. Is hold on, give me a second. Is all the doomerism and the fear mongering going on in the culture, especially just you know how the news cycle is. It's very just talking about issues, problems, and just bullshit. And while the new media tries to do better, with podcasts and whatnot and YouTube, and how they try to do a step better with bringing the truth to things to light, and I think that's great. They do a good job at bringing the truth. I think we will here too, but but a big aspect that's still missing to that, what really gives truth real teeth, is basically just no. You can't have this doomerism. You can't be fear mongering. You can't be a coward. You have to really speak with a very straight, clear vision in your mind, and you have to love people. You can't just be insulting and hating it all the time, because that anger, the emotion of anger, Emil, it gets in the way of actually seeing things. Because I like to see situations for what they are, and a lot of people don't like to really look at what they are, right? And that's where the context comes into play, like you were saying. Because when you include the context, you get to see things for what they really are, right? And a lot of what this is, of course, it bears repeating, is our conscious free will and the decisions, just the choices that we make, and we have to be very self-aware of our choices and how that affects everybody else around each other. I think that about wraps it up. Anything you want to say?
No, I've already said it.
Alright, cool. Well, that's that then. Goodbye, everybody.